Three, two, one. Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Ivell podcast. I am joined today by another guest who I'm very, very happy to introduce. Finally, we've managed to make this happen. We've been trying to get her on for a couple of weeks now, but unfortunately, we've both been quite busy, both when we had free time. So I'd like to introduce Miss CPY, Charlotte. How are you? Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
There she is. How are you? Okay?
Not too bad at all, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm good. Really, really grateful for you coming on tonight. Because like I said, it's been a bit of a arseache to try and find the time for us both to get this sorted. Because you are a very busy young lady. So would you like to introduce yourself so we all know who you are, what you do, and all the rest of it?
Of course. So my name is Charlotte. I'm 20 years old from South Wales. I've got a few jobs at the minute. I work for British Airways in compliance, and I'm going into the fire service as a retained firefighter, and then obviously I do all my bits on the side with racing, involved with a couple of racing teams here and there, and then do some bits myself as well, building up my own car. It's been a bit busy, but it's all part of the game, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, and you also do the Garage Girls brand stuff now.
Yes.
I want to make sure I mention that.
Yeah, it's just up and coming now. So the website isn't officially launched yet, but I've got lots of sample products coming through. We've got lots of engagement from the girls, which is amazing. Hopefully aiming to launch it mid-August sort of time, fingers crossed. Getting all the products through now, so that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, cool. And so when you say samples, you mean like clothing and stuff like that? Is that what you're going to be zoned in on that? Because I saw that before you did like handbags and stuff, right? Or
yeah, so we've literally got all sorts coming through. So we've got stuff more car orientated, so you know, all the stickers, the sun strips, windscreen banners, all that sort of stuff. Then you've got the merchandise side of things, sort of clothing and hats, and there's going to be bags. Some things are going to be not so car orientated, so it'll be like, you know, funky bags, maybe with just like a little turbo keyring on it or something like that. But yeah, I've got all sorts going on, so it's quite exciting, to be honest.
Yeah, cool. Well, I have to just tell the audience that maybe just listening and not watching the podcast that you are officially my favorite guest already, because you've come dressed for the occasion in a 621 hoodie. So I very much appreciate that. That's great. So thank you very much. So tell us what cars you have at the moment, because you've got a daily, right? And then you've got the Evo. Is it an Evo 8?
Yes, it's an Evo 8 MR that I've got at the minute for my track toy. And then I've just got like a little Seat Ibiza for the daily at the minute. But hopefully next year I'm going to be looking at something a little bit nicer again.
Okay, cool.
Probably on the Mercedes side of things.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Very nice. So the Evo isn't standard though. So walk us through it, because obviously a lot of the audience are going to be coming over from I'd assume from our Instagrams and stuff like that. And they've obviously got a big car following. And I, like everybody else, I'm very interested because you are ripping that thing apart at the moment.
I am. So it's literally a shell at the minute. So engine-wise, I'm running about 430 brake at the minute. I haven't actually done any upgrades on the engine myself. It came with an Evo 9 turbo. It's got a big intercooler, shortened intercooler pipe. There's not really many mods done to the engine. Obviously, it's been mapped. But in terms of what I'm going to do at the minute, my focus is going to be on servicing, because I don't actually know when it was fully like major service last, so that's going to be my next big project engine wise. But I'm going to leave the power where it is for now. As you said, it's literally a shell at the moment, so I've ripped all the interior out. It's going to be roll cage next, and then I've got some harnesses to go on the seats too, which I'm excited for, and then I've got big 6-spot Alcon brakes to go on as well, which I'm really excited for.
Very nice. Alcon. Deep pockets. Very nice. Very impressive. And you say it's your track car?
Yes, yeah, it will be. So hopefully going into sprint series and ideally time attack once I can get some bigger power sort of going through the engine.
Awesome. Now them Evos dominate that. I used to watch it like a lot when I was younger, especially when I can't remember the guy's name who used to have an amazing Evo shot, but he had like the fluorescent Evo 5s, was it? Do you ever see those? The fluorescent yellow and the fluorescent orange ones?
Yes, yeah.
Big old lip kits and stuff. They were insane cars. So I look forward to seeing your progress with it. So you say you work with some race teams. Did I see that you had applied to get like a sponsor deal or something with like Team Hard? You went
the scholarship with Team Hard. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. So there was about 130 applicants for the scholarship, obviously only one place. And I was lucky enough to be the first female to ever get through into the final, which was really, really good fun. So the qualifiers as such were at Blighton Park, and it was a bit of everything. So we had to do fitness testing, and then there was mock interviews that we had to do, and then obviously track time as well. We went out on track twice and got scored on variations of everything. I was lucky enough to get through into the final. So I was the only female to go through into the final and the first female to ever make it through, which was amazing. Obviously, I didn't get the first place spot because we were racing in Brands Hatch, which is a bit of a questionable track, but it's good fun.
Through that, I've never actually been to Brands Hatch. Like, I've only been there for basically when I started drifting, I got invited to their, like, they have in their, like, car park bit, they set it up for a little bit of drifting for Flat Out Factory. And I got to go and do some skids with Flat Out Factory for the day, just like take my car. I've never actually been around Brands Hatch apart from on a games console. So what's it actually like to drive? Like,
oh my goodness. Well, Sod's Law, it's probably one of the few tracks that I've not been on ever. So it was literally the first time out in one of the Team Hard built race cars, and it was very much, as soon as you come out of the pits, you've got about 10 laps to impress, and that's all you've got. So there wasn't any sighting laps. There was nothing to get used to the track, which was really difficult. But there's a really nasty, sharp right-hander just after the start-finish straight, and you see quite a few people get it wrong. On the day, it was they were doing track sessions for Arrive and Drive as well, other people that were bringing their cars, and they were a fair few that had got it wrong around that corner, and you sort of just hold your breath and think, oh my God, I hope that's not going to be too bad.
Right, okay.
Complex track, but it's one that I really want to go back to, spend a bit more time on, and I feel like the more time you have to get familiar with it, the more fun you can have on it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, when I spent it on track, it was very much trying to figure out my lines and figure out how hard I could push and whatever else, but really, really fun track if you can get it right.
Awesome. So where does all this, like, love for track cars, because how old are you? You're not very old.
20.
You're 20. So where does all this come from? Who's the influence on your life, or is it all self-found?
All of it is my dad. No, all of it comes from my dad. So he's had probably 7 Evos, I think, over the years. He's had all sorts. So he's had the 5 RSs all through to the 9 MRs. He's had literally all sorts. I remember going to primary school, I'd be in my pinafore dress and I'd be strapped into an Evo with my bucket seats that be popping and banging on the way up to primary school, and it's all I've known. We went from Evos through into GTRs and absolutely all sorts, but that's where it comes from. I mean, when he had his Evos, I wasn't the most interested, and I look back now and I think, oh my God, he had all that in the garage, I didn't even give a shit. So I'm like,
no, that's cool. So it surprises me a little bit. It's fun to see that you went down the Evo route if your dad was into the Evos, because my old man is a Mercedes fanatic, like absolute Mercedes fanatic. So I went and bought a BMW M3. Do you know what I mean? It was it was like, do I get a C63? No, I want the M3 like I've always wanted. And then I went and got my new daily car, once again, another BMW. So it's just funny how, like, you either go with the fam or you go almost like rebel against it. So you went for the Evo.
Totally with him. That's
pretty cool. Are you still close? Totally. Are you close with him now? Is it like a good daddy-daughter bond, or?
Yeah. I mean, that's where the car is. I keep it with him a lot of the time, and anything that I'm not sure on the Evo he's done before, because he did all of his own work. He's quite good friends with Ross Walker from Ross Sport, and he's got all sorts of contacts, Gary Hayward through the industry and the like. So anything that I don't know, he knows, and if he doesn't know it, then he's got friends that do know it. So perfect. It's literally a win-win, because I like being able to do everything I do myself, and if I can't do it, then I like to watch what's going on and be involved, if nothing else. So
that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's really, really cool. That's such a cool little, like, story. I really like that. That's awesome. I was actually going to ask you, like, what got you into cars, but that kind of naturally progressed into that. So that's really interesting. Yeah. So what would be next after the Evo? Like, once you're done,
not going.
That's never going nowhere, no?
That's going nowhere. No, 100%. That's like a long term. I mean, there isn't anything after the Evo in terms of track car. My ideal situation would be, obviously I'll have the Evo going. Hopefully the end of this year, maybe next year, get a nicer daily, as I said, something Mercedes. I had a C-Class before, so I'm torn between getting another C-Class sort of responsible, nice diesel daily driver for up and down the motorway, and an A45. I'm not too sure yet.
I'll get both.
But one of the two. No, one of the two.
Oh, okay, one of the two. Okay.
Yeah, one of those two Mercs.
Those A45s are nice. One of my neighbours has got the A45S, like the new one, and it is insane.
Yes.
Like, I went out on a dog walk quite late, obviously because of the heat. I go out late at night with the dog, and I noticed it on his driveway, and I was like, I'm gonna have to take a photo. It's that nice. I have to take a picture of it. And I was like,
Yeah.
I took a photo of it, and then like I'm obviously in all the group chats with like the Drift Boys and like some of my, the friends that we're all into our older Japanese stuff. And I was like, boys, I'm convinced that this is a car I'd probably own. I was like, this is insane. And they were all like, actually, yeah,
This so
I'm really
nice.
feeling it. But like then I looked at the price and I was like, nah, no, no, not
Yeah.
not for that sort of money.
That's
There
good,
is
it's not so nice.
there is many cars I'd buy that isn't one of those for, I think it was like £54,000 or something. I was like, no, not a chance. So I actually saw before you popped on here, your story popped up on my Instagram and said about YouTube. You starting a YouTube channel?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
What's
So
going to be the plan with that?
so long. Well, so long people have said to me, especially once Ivell came onto the scene, you need to start doing YouTube, making videos, just what you're doing, updating us, progress, mods, whatever you're doing. But with working full time, I was always just like, I've not got enough time to dedicate to it to make it worth doing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
But now I'm off work on furlough, I'm thinking I may as well make the most of the time and do a couple of videos, see where it goes. One of the things that's actually pushed me to do it is when we were installing the roll cage with the rear hoop at the back, they're absolute nightmares to get into cars. So naturally you go on to Google or YouTube and, it's Evo 8 roll cage install, and there is not one video of anybody putting the rear hoop into the back of an Evo. So I was like, right, I'm going to do it for anyone else so they haven't got to go through the tears and the mental stress that we did. It was a nightmare. So
how did you get it in?
I thought, right, I'll do that video. 5 hours of shouting at each other and trying not to. I woke up the next day and I felt like I'd had a gym session because obviously being the smallest, I was nominated to be in the car to lift it in. I must have spent 3 hours like in the car trying to lift this roll cage, and we did all sorts. We tried it in through the back door. It wouldn't go anywhere near with the back door on, so we took the back door off and it still didn't look like it was fit. So we tried it through the front door and the steering wheel was in the way. So we thought, right, we'll put it in through the passenger door, and the steering wheel was still in the way. So we took the steering wheel off as well, and then it still wouldn't go because the car narrows towards the top. So we were like, right, okay. So we tried to get it in through the passenger side again, but the seatbelt housing kept catching. It was like literally centimeters off. So we took all the seatbelt housing off as well, and then it still wouldn't go. So we just sat there like, how is this possible? We found an old thread on the MLR, the old Mitsubishi Owners Club, from one of my dad's old installs, and Ross Walker had commented on it. Ross Sport.
Yeah.
He'd commented, it just goes sideways and it goes in. That's the only bit of information we could find online. It goes sideways and it goes in. And we were just sat there looking at the cage, looking at the car, just like, surely not, it's not going to happen. But one way or another, we got it in through the back door. Didn't manage to break anything. So fingers crossed, now we've got to get it back out, then slave it back in, then get it back out to get it painted, and then put it back in again. So we'll be well oiled by the time it goes in.
That sounds long. That sounds long.
It was a nightmare.
Oh no way! That's crazy. That them sort of the jobs that are meant to be simple. You'd look at that and be like, oh, it's not gonna be that long. It's just bolting it all together. And then you're like, okay,
no chance.
Was not expecting this shit. And then they're the ones that will live with you. But it's a fun story to tell. If that had gone in like bomb, you'd probably not even remember doing it. It's like, I have to say, like, one of the things because I can talk about YouTube for hours, obviously, because I've done YouTube for the last like 8 years of my life. Like, not always as like a consistent thing, but I've been uploading videos for like 9 years now, I think, like quite a long time. Yeah. Is that it can really be a lot of fun. Like, it genuinely can be, especially if you're consistent with it. I think consistency, I get a lot of people message me directly saying, how do I get better at YouTube? And I'm like, well, I'm not the one to ask because I'm definitely not popping on there. I've got my little audience, I'm happy with what I've got. I'm very content. I think it's great. I've got a cool little community. And that's what my audience is. It's a community. It's really nice. But I just say the most important thing to do, and the advice I'd give you with it as well, is if you want to do it properly, is consistency. So don't do like 3 videos one week and then not upload again for a month. Put 1 video a week. If you've got 3 videos, just be like, right, I'll post this one this week, I'll post that one next week, and then at least people start getting into a routine of seeing your name pop up on the same sort of day, and that sort of thing. And it's a hard social media, I believe, now, because it's one of those where it helps YouTube to push their biggest creators 100% because they earn off of you earning. Does that make sense? So
totally.
Yeah, so like it's one of those things where you just kind of have to go into it, and like I say, never expect anything, but just work hard. It's one of those, because I feel like
Yeah,
if you
give it a go though, isn't it?
I hear a lot of people going in going, yeah, I'm gonna get 1,000 subs in my first month, and then by 50,000 I'm gonna then be aiming. I'm like, right, well, it's my longest gap to close from each 10,000, because I'm at 60,000 now
Mhm.
subscribers. My longest gap to close was 50 to 60,000, and that was when I was uploading 2 to 3
Yeah.
times a week, doing everything that I thought I was doing right, and some videos were just dying, and I was like, I don't
Yeah.
get it. You know, it's like none of this makes
Yeah.
sense. And then all of the ones that are getting all the positive reactions and comments, no one else is watching. Like, it's like, this is my favorite video you've ever done, 5,000 views. It's like, what the fuck? And then I post some shitty video that took me 1 minute to
Mental.
make, and it gets 50,000. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those,
Yeah.
like, it's the weirdest social media platform ever, but I believe it's the most fun because people really get to know who you are on like a more personal level, I guess, because they get to see you instead of it just being like a photo where you make sure you're best and like your car is always looking the sickest. Like, they'll see like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck, there's a scratch there, or that wheel's curved. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, cool. It's
Yeah.
like, so I obviously film the drifting and like obviously always post my crashes because it's the funniest bit of it to me. Finny, you're all right down there, bud. What are you doing? Sorry, the dog's just scratching at the floor. What are you doing, man?
Oh, bless him. Elsie's kippo next to me.
But yeah, it's a fantastic social media, and I think you'll do well because you've got quite a strong following anyway. You've got great interaction on all your posts. Like, I think it'd be interesting to see, especially with the build you're undertaking. It's extensive. It's cool. Like, especially for someone as young as you to be doing. Like, not even to mention you're a girl. Like, just any 20-year-old doing a
Yeah.
Evo as seriously as you are. It's like, all right, like, people kind of take notice. You know, it's the fact that you're a girl.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, that girl is doing this is sick. You know what I mean? Like, she's all in. Like, when you see, like I said,
Yeah.
the Alcon breaks, I saw them pop up in your story, and I was like, fuck me, she's going in on this. Like, that was like the initial thing that I thought. I was like, fuck me, I can't
It's
even
not
talk.
half-assed. It is
No, it's
like I'm
proper.
doing it. I'm doing
Yeah,
it
yeah,
properly. Yeah.
proper, and I love it. I think you're gonna get a lot of respect from a lot of the people that you'll want, that not even naturally want, but like as you go down your line in your
Yeah.
careers, you'll be like, get someone that'll be like, oh yeah, I saw that's fucking sick, and you'll be like, oh, dope, like that guy respects me, or that girl
Yeah.
respects me. You know what I mean? Like, that sort of thing. So it's cool. So you mentioned earlier I mentioned it and you mentioned the girl modify thing, and you're quite big on the girl supporting girls movement within the car scene, you know, within
Mhm.
that world. Do you want to just expand on that? And because I feel like almost you're a bit of a face for it. Like, because I've been around this for a long time. Like, I've been doing cars, like I said, 12 odd years I've been involved in car scenes
Yeah.
for, and there's never really
Uh-huh.
been anyone as, in my opinion, as predominant going, right, girls, we're all getting together. Does that make sense? Like, this is,
Yeah.
you want to be a part of it.
100%.
Fucking get involved. Like, no bullshit. Come and get, yeah, and it's cool. That's why I wanted to get you on mainly to talk about this, because I think it's great that more girls are getting involved in modifying cars, because it is a sausage fest. It is. Like, back when I was growing up, if a girl
Yeah.
rocked up in a modified
Yeah.
car, it'd be like, what the fuck? I remember this one girl back in the day. She turned up in an EK9, and it was one of the boys' girlfriends, and like she was like, yeah, I bought this EK9 because I wanted this. I've always been into my Hondas, and I was like, fucking girl knows what an EK9 is. This is dope. Like, I was like, this is so
Yeah.
cool. Like, and I just thought it was so wild, because this was like 10 years ago maybe, like, and it was just so cool, and like got on really well. Like,
Yeah.
always, like, she was always a part of the Honda gang, and it was just cool. So like, do you want to expand on it a little bit more and see what your goals are for it and what you hope to get from it and all that sort of stuff?
Well, that's just the weird thing is, like, I haven't actually got, these massive goals that a lot of people think that I've got. I
Mhm.
literally just started it because it's the sort of thing that, it's always nice to have friends in your hobbies. But it got to a point where I was like, you know what? All of my pals are boys, all of them.
Mhm.
I was like, where's all the girls? I know there's girls out there with cars. I know there's girls out there that love cars. So where are they? So I went on a bit of a quest as such to find all the girls. And you just get talking through Instagram, you follow them, they follow you back, and you get talking over DM, and you talk about all your builds and what you're doing, and it's good fun. But at the time, I ran a clothing company that was nothing to do with cars. It was sort of like festival clothing sort of
Mhm.
thing. And the more I was talking to girls and getting to know them and their cars, the more I was like, you know what? The brand that I'm building is just nothing to do with me. It doesn't make any sense for me to be doing this clothing brand because it's just not me. It's not something that I'm passionate enough about to push. So, for a while I sort of sat myself down. I thought, how can I incorporate what I love with, a brand and building the sort of thing that I want to build? So it's like, right, I want to see more girls get involved with other girls in the car scene. And I want to see girls supporting girls rather than girls tearing each other down and, creating a bad name for girls within the car scene. So it's like, right, okay, I'll build a brand. I'll start small, see if I can get some girls together. And I think, it's been 2 months since I sort of published it properly. And we've just hit over 500 members on Facebook. We've hit over 3K on Instagram, and our little exclusive girls group chat's got nearly 200 girls in it now that all get together and we talk on a daily basis. And yeah, it's a bit of a girl army going on, but
I bet your
I love it.
phone
And
notifications must be absolutely nuts. 200 girls in
it's
one
a bit
group chat.
ridiculous.
Fucking hell.
It's growing every day. Every single day there's new people, new members, new faces, and I love it. You know, my phone's constantly popping, but every single message is supportive. It's girls talking to other girls, even if it's something silly, like, you know, you'll see a message that says, "I've not had a very good day in work, girls. You know, what are you all up to?" And then suddenly the chat will start going off because everyone will start talking to people just about things and life. And it's not always car related, but it's girls being friendly with other girls that have the same interest. It's lovely. You know, I don't even talk in there that much. Sometimes I just sit and just watch the chat and watch everyone talk to each other, make new friends, get to know each other. Genuinely, it's so nice. I love it. I really do.
Yeah, I think, sorry, I'm gonna have to move my dog because he's scratching.
It's okay.
The cupboard and there's nothing in there. I don't know what you can see.
Oh, a little
There's
bit.
literally nothing in there. Come on, bro. Come on, let's go. Let's get out of the way now. Come on, good boy. There we go. Go over there. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think I noticed
It's
you
okay.
like really pushing it, and I was like, that's a cool thing. It almost reminded me like, so it's not the same, but Finn, dude, stop. It reminded me of when I started 621 because I was just like, I just want somewhere that Honda people can feel like they can just be Honda guys without it being like a big argument.
Yeah.
And it was always like, if you come with my meet, you've got to be chill. Like, there's no beefs, there's nothing like that. You come, I do some photos, we have a laugh, we talk about Hondas, we go get some food, whatever. And like group chats and that weren't really about back then, like, you know, like 10, 12 years ago. It was all forums. So that was like, they were always organized in little like subsections of forums, and it was just so much fun. And I remember like how much I enjoyed that because I was about your age. I was about 18, 19, 20 when I started doing my thing, like a lot. I started 621 as a limited business, I think 8 years ago, but I actually had 621 since I was 19. So it was like my passion was 621 through that, like bam, 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 I've got to be doing this. And like, I just thought like, wow, I wonder if she's as passionate about what she's doing as I was about what I was doing back then. Cause I can see the similarities in it. And I'm like, I know yours is girls only, but mine was like Honda's only. So it was like, you know, like it was cool. Like it was really cool. So I think it's really, really great. So you've kind of touched on something I wanted to talk about. When you said, you know, the girl might be like, I'm had a shit day at work or whatever. So you have a lot of that, like you're almost bonding with each other, you know, through
literally. Yeah.
So not just through the chat though, because like, once all this COVID stuff is over, because you kind of started it through COVID, right? Like it was like through this lockdown, like that movement's kind of really been one of the main focuses stuff. Did you, sorry, I've lost my train of thought. So you started it through COVID, and do you think once that, this is all, I want to say over, but I don't think COVID's ever going to be over. I think we're just going to learn to live with it. Like once normality becomes back round, will we see like girl modify stands at car shows? Will you have like your groups out at the car shows together, do you think?
Oh, 100%. That'll just be the start of it. We've got holidays planned. We've got getaways together, you know, driving trips, road trips. Honestly, it's like a proper little lifestyle that we've got going on for us all. Once this calms down a little bit and we can all get out and about, and there's going to be so much going on, but it'll all be good. Lots of things in the pipeline, definitely. On
the subject of lockdown, how was it for you? I like to ask everyone, like, how was it for you? Because you mentioned to me beforehand you got put on furlough from your main job, so you've kind of just been like working out what you want to do. Like, so how's it been? like you know.
It's definitely been an eye-opener. I mean, it makes you realise how much you don't want to work for another company for the rest of your life, in my eyes anyway, you know, because I mean, I was working 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, and then I had a business on the side, and then the fire service, you know, and then any race days on the weekend and whatnot. So it was hectic, absolutely hectic. And I'm sat here now, so I should have gone back to work today, but I only got furloughed again for another month on Thursday. And I'm sat here just thinking, I don't know how I'd cope going back to work again. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. So, you know, I mean, that was another part of Garage Girls. Well, this is it. I don't know. I mean, ideally, no, but realistically, yes. For the time being, I don't think it's going to be a long-term permanent thing because it's not where my passions are. It's not where I'm happiest. You know, I've figured out what makes me happy. If nothing else through lockdown, I know the sort of lifestyle that I want to live, the sort of jobs that I want to work to make myself happy, to be around people that love what I love. So long-term plans, I'm not too sure yet, but I'm just going to go with the flow, see what opportunities come up, take what I can take and go from there, really.
So is what's it called? What is the brand actually called?
Garage Girls.
It is Garage Girls. Okay, I thought it was. I
Yeah,
didn't want to.
Garage Girls. Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was girls. I couldn't remember what the other one was. So it's Garage Girls. So do you think that brand will be something that you maybe expand on into
I'd love to.
the future
Yeah.
with like a store online with parts and stuff, or are you going to keep it more
Yeah.
merch? And because I can speak from
I mean,
experience on the going from one to
yeah.
the other, and I always look back now and I wish I'm not trying to influence you at all. I believe we're all on our own journeys. I can only talk from my own experience in this. I wish I'd never got into selling car parts. I wish I'd stuck it with clothing, because at the same time I was coming up, at the same time Status Era was coming up. Gianni, like, have you ever had a Status Era? They're like in the drift
Yes.
BMX kind of world. And now I know that he's doing exceptionally well because he just focused on clothing. Does that make sense? Whereas I was like, no, I want to start selling car parts. And then I wanted to do my own brand car parts. And then some stuff went, because what I learned, and I'm sure if your dad is a relatively successful man himself, he'll have been through all of this, and your mum, whatever, like whatever situations, you can take it from everybody. But like, just from what I learned, when I started going into the bigger money stuff where you have to really start laying down cash, it's not just like a couple of grand on some hoodies and t-shirts and or some snapbacks, or like I'm wearing Players one right now, but like like all of that sort of stuff. It's you're going, right, we've got to put like 6 figures down on this, and it's like, and then that's a huge risk to take. And initially the support I got was amazing, but then when people start seeing that you're making money, I don't know what it was for me, like people it turned against me. And I was like, well, I'm not a fucking charity. Do you know what I mean? I'm going for like the big in the Honda world. Like, I want to be bigger than these guys. I want to be bigger than that. And then I spent more time trying to deal with the hate, even though I probably now I'm older. I look back and I'm like, I could have just fucking ignored it. Do you know what I mean? But it really got to me, and it really put me in a bad place. And then it made me prejudge all of my decisions and second guess myself all the time. And I was like, I should have just ignored them and cracked on. But when you're laying down that sort of money, you have to keep laying down that sort of money. And I always look back, and the way I've got it set up now is perfect for me. Like it's cushy. Like I don't stock anything. It's all drop ship, like, and all that. But but before, like, I'd also get people, because I obviously tried to mix it. The way I was selling all my stuff was through me being me. So I'd do the YouTube videos and Instagram and all that. But I'd also find that I was getting people, as much as amazing as it is, like, would come to my office or my shop on a work day and just want to talk. And I was like, yo, you've been here for 3 hours now just talking. And I haven't done any work for the last 3 hours. So like,
talking doesn't earn money, does it?
Yeah, and I'd have to try and like be like, yo, so I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna have to get back to work in a second. Like, and they're like, all right, cool. I just wanted to say hello. And I'm like, yo, you're not even buying anything. Like, you're not even buying a t-shirt. Like, fuck. And they're like, oh yeah, I'll be back when it's payday. I'm like, man, I've just spent 3 hours just having a chat. Do you know what I mean? And it was like stuff like that, where it was as like my YouTube channel grew and like my local popularity or whatever grew in that industry, it was just constant. I'd have like 2 or 3 people daily coming in and just spending 2 or 3 hours at a time in. And it was just like a work environment that I couldn't do what I needed to do to sustain it and like to run a company. And it was just carnage. And like I said, I've managed to like get it to a place now where it's sustainable and, it is what it is, sort of thing. But I think it'd be very interesting to see the progress of your stuff. And I'm always on hand if you ever want to, a message and just be like, yo, what do you think of this? Because I'll never stop you being like, if you're like, I've got the opportunity to do this, I can then give you don't go for that because I know that won't work. Does that make sense? That sounds like a good idea. Like that. Like I've got tips and tricks I'm happy to share with you off camera. I just don't want to put it on camera because
no, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, so I think that could be really, really cool. But going back now to the girls supporting girls movement, there was it a week or two ago where I saw some beef. And I think we should touch on the beef. So do you want to like start on this?
Beef.
Yeah, I love some beef.
Don't we all? Yeah, so I'll go right back to the beginning of how it all started. So obviously, Garage Girls, this is the only time, and I mean the only time anything negative has ever gone through the Garage Girls brand or, community, whatever you want to call it. Everybody loves everyone in there, is supportive. And so I've got only the one admin at the minute helping me on the page, Meg, bless her, I love her to bits. She's a big part in the page. She does a lot of the content posting. I couldn't do it without her. She's a star.
Shout out, Meg.
Shout out to Meg. But she posted a photo. You know, I think nothing of it because I see them pop up every now and again. I think, oh, you know, Meg's been on the page. Thank you, and that sort of thing. And I was checking on the Garage Girls messages that night, and I saw that Meg had posted a new photo. So I thought, oh, you know, I'll go and check the engagement, see who's commented, and it was a picture of one of the girls, and she was sort of, it was with her, it might have been her car or another car, I can't remember, but she sort of bent over the bonnet of it. And as girls do, you know, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do, fine.
I mean, I saw that photo. Before you go any further, I actually saw that picture because obviously I looked at all this stuff going on, so I was just like, what the fuck is cool? It was so much noise for nothing. Like that's what I saw it as. It's just some
fully clothed,
little,
may I add, fully clothed.
Yeah, some trumped up toff that thinks she's better than everybody, fucking,
you
know, trying to cause a scene. And I was like, right, okay, what the fuck has angered this girl so much? Or so I clicked on the picture in question. I was like, she's not even bent over her car. I was like, I don't get it. Like, it wasn't sexualized or anything. I think she was just like lent on the front of it a little bit. And I was like, I think I've taken raunchier pictures with my cars than this. And like, do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, what the fuck, man? Sorry to interrupt you, but carry on. I just wanted to put that little bit in there.
No. Honestly, you're saying what I'm thinking, you know. And it was a comment that just said something like, it just said like, but why? And I was thinking to myself, I didn't know whether it was sarcastic, whether it was just a bit, you know, I'd misread something, but I replied back and I was like, well, because she can. Why not? Along those lines. And then it all came back. Another comment, and it was all about something being sexualized, and that's not how women should be perceived in the car scene and stuff like this. And I was thinking, hang on, this is genuinely someone that's got a problem with the photo.
Her username is Tat Bells. What the fuck does that sound like? When I read it, it sounds like tits. That's what it sounds like when I read that line. She wants to talk about not sexualizing stuff. Fuck off. Honestly, I'm sorry if I get a bit heated on this, but she's friends with somebody else I fucking hate, so I have no issues with saying it.
Genuinely. So problem being that I went onto her profile and her friends take exactly the same sort of photo. Exactly the same. Worse, you know, and I mean worse. They'll be less clothes, more bent over, more arse cheek showing, however you want to say it.
Push-up challenge in my bra.
Yes.
Fuck off.
Yes. So, as you can imagine, I'd looked on her profile and I saw she had, you know, 35 or 38,000 followers. I was thinking, oh shit, you know, this is quite high profile. And I saw that she had a story. So I thought I'd see what she's up to on a story. So I clicked on her story and she'd reshared this image from the Garage Girls page saying with her opinion how this is not how girls should be acting. This is not how we should conduct ourselves. You know, this isn't car girls or car enthusiasts sort of thing. And I thought, she's called the page out. I had to reread it and I was like, hang on, she shared an image from a girl supporting girls page slandering the way that she's posing and how she's doing it. I was thinking, hang on a minute. So I thought, well, I'm not the type of person that's just going to sit there. If it was me, I'd have brushed it under the carpet. But it was somebody else. It's one of the girls that came into the group that was looking for friends, looking for support, and she was being teared down for it. And I was like, no, this is not how this is going to work. So then I put something back on my story, and obviously I added her in it. And within hours, it had just blown up. And I mean, like, blown up. My inbox that evening, the most that I got to was 481 messages that evening. And I was replying literally continuously. I couldn't stop. But it was all girls. Wow. Every single one of them was girls just saying, this isn't right, this isn't right. How can she say this? It's not right that she's slandering girls. And it blew up. And I mean blew up. And that's how... you know, more for her, because to be fair, it did wonders for the brand because I had so many of her followers that were all girls seeing how horrible she was being, all coming over to the page being like, oh no, fuck it, you know, I'll be one of your girls, that's fine.
I think with that, from what I noticed with that, there's multiple different layers of that onion, that rotten onion you can unpeel. Oh, yeah. And I think one is a class difference. So she's obviously a toff from London. When you click on her profile and listen to how she talks, and you're like, right, she's in that band where daddy's a fucking lawyer or something very high up in London.
Oh, 100%.
And it's like, I was like, right, you've never had a real perception of reality anyway, okay? So, like, sorry that I could talk for hours about this shit because it fucks me off. Like, it's the same as the and I don't want to disrespect you because I know you're part of this, but it's almost how like the real racing looks down at drifters. How like we're not
Yeah,
allowed to go to most racetracks because our sport is an extreme version of what they do. They don't like it. They don't like how the noise. They don't like how it looked. They don't see it as real technical driving. Where it's like fucking hell, go do what I do then. Do you know what I mean? Let's see.
yeah.
Let's
It's
see.
all
You
just
know what I mean? So
segregation. It doesn't need to be there.
it's like this whole like class that I think it's one is class, two is the people she hangs around with, all of her friends and all that drive Lamborghinis, Ferraris, you know, all that shit, you know, and it's just a different world to what me and you are in.
But
Where
this is why I struggle, because she was slandering us for being car enthusiasts, you know, saying that we can't be a car enthusiast if, you know, we like to have nails on, or we like to do our makeup, we wear jewelry. You know, if we feel like we want to look good next to our cars, we can't know anything about our cars.
that's what she was
And yet
saying.
we're the ones that spend, and yet we're the ones that spend our nights in our garage, taking our cars apart, doing everything for our cars ourselves. She drives around in a Porsche or a Lamborghini, drops it off to Porsche for a day, and then picks it back up. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't do anything for herself, and yet she's telling us what we can and can't know about our cars. Her point was very much that if you like to pose with your car, or, you know, if your car gets involved in your OnlyFans content or anything like that, you can't possibly know anything about it. It was two things that just made no sense put into the same sentence. It just didn't make any sense to me. I was very much just
I think there's, like I said, like with because I
confused.
know she's involved with other influencers. I know a couple of the people that I like. One of the people she hangs around with. I haven't had much conversation with him, but the short, brief spells of conversation I have had, I do like. I get on really well with another one of her friends, who I won't mention because I don't want to cause any grief between me and him. Like I really like him as a guy. Like he's
Yeah.
an amazing
Yeah.
photographer, all the rest of it. But there's a couple of people that they hang around with where you can just go, all right, that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole elitist
Yeah, I
attitude.
mean, to be
Yeah,
fair,
and one thing, sorry to interrupt you, but like I
okay.
what I know, I just feel like it's this whole like holier than thou. Oh, this car company will give me a car if I ask for it because I'm the real car person here. Like, and it's like, well, sorry,
Yeah,
but if this girl wants to fuck around with her Corsa and take a picture of it because she's put new headlights in it, then fucking let her. That Corsa might be all that she can
exactly.
fucking afford, and she might work harder harder. I don't mean smarter or earn more money, but she might be putting more hours in to earn way less money, and that might breed that person's pride and joy. And I've learned that lesson because I think when I was about 21, 22, I was like this little elitist in the Honda world where I would fucking slag off parts from certain companies. I'd rip the shit out of replica wheels. I'd openly do it. I'd openly say like, yeah, this car's great, but if it wasn't running rotors, it'd be fucking even better. Or it'd be like, shame about the rotors,
Yeah,
you know, that sort of thing. I'd really dig them out. But then as I've grown older, I'm like, actually, like they're actually a decent wheel. And then you start learning the history in the scene. You're like, oh, without them, that company would have gone under. Fucking no one knows that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah,
I started, as I matured, I realized like, okay, like I could afford all those things because I was working. I cannot explain how fucking hard I was working when I was 18 to 22. It wasn't normal. Like the hours I would put in,
yeah,
the dedication I had to what I was doing. And I wasn't even doing it for the money. It was just, that was just part of that was just a side effect of the hard work. That was just a cool benefit. It was
yeah,
like, all right, cool. I'm doing what I want. I
literally.
love what I do. And it just so happens I'm making money. Sound as fuck. Like, but it was like, cool, I can afford the Reagan Masters. I can afford the fucking Jay's Racing exhaust. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody should be able to do that. You know, I'm 21. How the fuck can't you afford
Yeah,
it today? Do you know, that sort of thing? And I
yeah,
look back and I'm like, wow, I had such a shit head on me. And I hope to God that she's just going through that period now. But I cannot compute it in my head that someone that grows up in fucking Knightsbridge or wherever the fuck she's from is ever going to understand how the other half live, you know? And it's just, don't know.
yeah. And
I
it's
found it so bizarre because the first thing I clicked on her profile through that was her and her mate doing press ups with their tits out, basically. And I was like,
yeah.
how the fuck can you give a girl shit who was wearing jeans bent over a car or whatever the fuck
It
pose
was
she was
just more
doing?
disappointing than anything. It
I'm
was
sorry
like
that I'm getting so
genuinely
worked up. It's
disappointing.
just oh, it just fucks me off so much when people like,
Yeah,
she was just looking down on you lot because you lot ain't got as much money as her on the service of things. That's what it was, and it just fucks
yeah.
me off. Like stuff like that. I'm because it just fucks me off.
I mean, the only reason why I don't get too much emotion involved in it is because she's one. Do you know what I mean? She's one person that got overprivileged, made a comment where it wasn't welcome, but then suddenly I literally had an army. And when I say an army, I mean an army of girls behind me that would just rip her to shreds with the first chance that we got. Do you know what I mean? It was very much like she's a person who's a nobody in our lives, whether she's got followers or not. 40,000 followers with 200 likes on your photo.
They're all going to be
okay,
60-year-old fucking men that just touch themselves to her anyways. There's no fucking deal.
Exactly. But it's very much a case of, she was one person. She's an anomaly out of everybody else that's behind the movement. And, I'm sure you saw a lot of it, but because of the sort of photo that she was slating, we sort of started a bend over your bonnet hashtag.
No, I saw. Fucking hell, it was hard to ignore it. I follow all of you lot, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, like, fuck me. I was like, it's insane. Like, all the asses everywhere. It was ridiculous. But, like, it was cool. Like, it was like one of those things where it was like, oh, fuck you. Like, even girls that would never post that sort of stuff were doing it. And it was like, it was all like a big thing coming together. And I do feel like there's that we're all in our own little scenes. Like, we are all in our own little scenes. So, like, if a supercar, like, where I had Paul Wallace, the Supercars of London, wanting to get in a drifting, and I just so happened to give him some shit on Twitter, and he was like, yeah, cool, you can teach me then. And I was like, all right. So we sorted out a day, and, like, we got together, and then you realise, like, because Paul isn't from money. He's like any normal dude that made it, and he's now got this cash available to him. But, like, you could tell he was so open to the idea of learning. But then there's other big time money influencers that would rather lease another Ferrari or another Lamborghini to impress their 12-year-old followers and have no real interest in learning how to drive. And there's other ones that are racing drivers that are more interested in pretending to be rich socialites than going out and be a fucking badass racing driver. Racing driving, to me, if I was my dream would just be a racing driver of some form, a pro drifter, a pro race driver. That to me is like the most badass job you can have, being like an absolute 100%. Gangster behind the wheel of a car. And that's what you get paid to do. What you get paid to race. What the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's the sickest thing. But you'd rather go and pretend to buy another Lamborghini. Like that to me just blows my mind. Like, but it's none of my business to slag them off for that. Obviously, everyone has their own choices. I just think they're making the wrong one. But yeah, it's just something I wanted to touch on, because I am now in a situation where I get to look back at my life in modified cars and all that, and I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I'd handled that differently. I wish I'd done that differently. I think it was when I was like around 24, I 23, 24, I changed from being like, I'm in this clique. And I'm in this clique, and if you're not in this clique, we can't be friends. We are the elite, like, we're the best in the Honda scene. So I just kind of want to, like, get to know everyone and not judge you on your car. So what I then started doing is I would go to the car meets, but in my daily car, and I just park it up out of the way, and I just go with my camera, or I'd go and vlog it, and I might go down in, like, the Civic, but I just park it up out of the way, and then I'd go and wander off, and, like, or we'd be at a show and I'd have my trade booth. And then when I realized that I was talking to all these people that wanted to come and give me money, they wanted to buy a sticker, they wanted to buy a hat, they wanted to do whatever, I was like, these are all just normal people like me. We're all the same, because I started to converse with everybody. It wasn't just talking to the people that had the hottest Hondas and, like, wanted to be a part of that. It was like I was talking to everybody, and, like, you'd get to meet people, and people would be like, oh, I've been made redundant, man. I had to sell, like, my wheels off my car just to be able to pay my rent this month. And I was like, yo, I've never been in that situation. Like, how fucking stressful must that be? And I was like, I'd end up being like, yo, dude, I'll tell you what, like, I'm not going to charge you for the stickers. Just, like, if you want stickers, I'm not going to charge you for them. And it was like one of those things where they'd be like, oh, well, that's so nice. But in my head, I'd be sit there feeling so guilty. Like, well, these are the people that I was, like, arguing with on forums for years. Just, like, it was no real hatred. I didn't hate anybody. It was just bullshit on the internet, keyboard warrior shit. And it was like, then when you start meeting everyone, that's why my aura and everything now, like, even when I do car meets, I'm like, these are family orientated car meets. I don't care what fucking car you drive. You do not get privilege over anybody unless I say, I want your car here because it fits in with what I'm wanting to put on the little display out front of the shop. Everything else is just park wherever you want, park neat. Don't pop and bang your fucking car. Relax, no revving. Let's have a good time, get to know each other, ask questions, and all get talking. Because it was only through me asking questions that I got to where I am. Because I ask questions about fucking everything. Everything. I'd be like, how does that work? How did you get that? How did you do that? How did you only start setting that up? What happens with that? How do I get to there? How do I get to do that? Do you know what I mean? It was like, I wanted to know. And I was like, stop being jealous. And I stopped being jealous of everybody. And I started admiring people. And I was like, I want what they've got. How the fuck do I get it?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it's the best thing to be.
I want what they've got. Fuck those guys for having it. Before me, it was never like that. I think at one point I probably was jealous. Like when I was 19, 20, 21, and I was looking around at all these flash cars at the shows, and I was like, how the fuck do I get that? I want that. And then I got what I wanted. I got my DC5 at 21 and I felt like hot shit. And then I got in a load of trouble with the police. And then I got in a load of trouble with the locals who started smashing it up because I drove like a fucking idiot everywhere. And then, you know, through all these things, you have to be brought down to earth. Like I come up when the internet was a new thing. So like I was on that, almost on that first wave of like car people that started to get noticed on through all of that. And I was like, yo, this is fucking sick. Like there was no guidebook. There was no one like 3 or 4 years before me that I could go, what do I do now? I'm getting some followers. Like, you know, it just all went to my head a little bit. And like, you know, and it did. But I love being brought back down to earth because I feel like you realize that you look at the people like that girl that was giving you lot shit for bending over your bonnet. You literally go, what the fuck does it matter? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, literally. Why does it matter?
Why are you trying to ruin their fun? There's a meme, and it's the guy, like someone like screaming. It's like a little cartoon, and it's like them about to scream, and then someone pinches their lips like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, shh, let people enjoy things. And that has stuck with me for so long because I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. And like now, and like you and me are very similar with color taste, by the way, because we both like fluorescent yellow. And it was always one of the things, like, because I did my rocker cover fluorescent yellow before it was like we're talking like 8 years ago, 7 years ago. I think I did my rocker cover fluorescent yellow. So like having a fluorescent yellow rocker cover on a red car, everyone's like, that's fucking disgusting. Oh, you've ruined that car. And now look at how many fucking fluorescent yellow fucking rocker covers are everywhere. I'm like, motherfucker, don't you start like this? Like, and it was always like one of those things where I always felt very lucky in myself because I was always confident in myself. Even if I didn't show it, I was always like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I want, you know? And it was like, I was always like, I'd just be like, well, if that guy doesn't like it, fuck them. I'm going to carry on doing it. But I know that not everyone's that confident. That's why I love your little girl, your little girls group that you have, because if someone isn't that confident, they now can come to you guys and just sit there silently and watch all of you do your thing. And then they might build up the courage to be like, you're right, girls, this is now what I'm doing. I'm really shy, but like, you know, this is this. And like, I feel there is still a lot.
The car scene is a shit place to be for even like, you know, the most well-known of girls. It's difficult, you know. I mean, on TikTok my account's done surprisingly well. You know, I've only posted 20 odd videos and I've got 60,000 followers on there now.
Fucking hell, all right, big time.
But no, I don't know how, but it's happened. But you know, I've got videos of, I think 2 of them have hit over 1 mil now, and the abuse that I get on there is nobody's business. I will get people arguing with me that I do not own my car. They'll say, it's not your car. I'm like, but it is. It's like, it's not your car. And I'm like, okay, but it is. You know, it's like, put your boyfriend's race suit back. I like your dad's car. All that, and I'm like, but it's just not. It's just not, you know, and it's very much.
I am a 30-year-old man, right, that owns one business myself, and I am the director of the family business as well. People still say to me, oh, your dad bought you that car. I'm like, do you not think that I work? Like, do you not think that I earn my own money? Like, I just see it as like one of these things that, like I said earlier, I no longer get jealous, I admire. So even if I don't like the person, but they've got what I want, I'm like, well, what path did they take to get there? Okay, cool. Well, I have to start here, and then I'm going to get it to there, and then I'm going to get to there, and then I'm going to get to there, and then we'll work our way up. Whereas I think a lot of people go, that guy's got what I want, or that girl's got what I want. Fuck her. She obviously didn't work for that shit. I haven't got it yet. So how the fuck did they do it? How the fuck did that guy get that? Fuck this shit. His dad must have bought it for him. And it's like, I laugh now because I'm just like, yeah, he did. I just say, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just like, yeah, probably. I don't know. I forget. He buys me so much. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I roll it off like that because like, genuinely doesn't bother me anymore. Like all of the abuse from the car scene and that, I laugh at it most of the time. Like, I don't know if you've seen, but I've been a Honda Ute, like a Honda pickup truck. I'm making one out of a Civic Coupe.
I have seen.
So I've had 3 big American Instagram accounts share that now with no real information. Honda Pro Jason put some real information down. Then it went to the Honda Day page, which is massive. It's got like 170,000 followers or 190,000 followers. But they didn't tag me and they didn't say anything about it. And then it went to another Honda page. Excuse me. And the amount of abuse I got from that, and it was all these people that were not looking at me at all. Like I believe I've put a lot of work into the Honda community to make it bit to build it up in the UK. Even if no one wants to give me any credit for it now, I don't give a fuck. Honestly, like I don't care. Like I did what I did because I loved it. I didn't do it for any form of reward. I just wanted everyone to enjoy Hondas like I did, because at the time they were fucking awesome. They were the bang for the buck car. They were great. And it was just hilarious. Now, not so much. They're too, in my opinion, they're too expensive now. Obviously, with inflation of Japanese car parts and all that, and cars themselves becoming ridiculously expensive, it's kind of taking the fun out of it a little bit. But
Just a bit.
but yeah. So like, I can't remember where I was going with that. What was I saying? So yeah,
About your pickup truck and the abuse.
oh yeah, the abuse. So like, no one, like everyone was like, oh, he's fucking ruined that Honda. Way to keep the Honda game alive and all this. I was like, have you not seen the EG6 I'm building? Well, I've built. It's fucking mint. It's got every dream part you could ever want. It's taken me 8 years to get this little car like this. Yet you're trying to tarnish me because I'm doing something fun with a car that was fucked. Are you joking? Fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I started replying to him one night. I had nothing to do for a night. So I got my phone out and I was just replying. I thought it was funny. And this guy was going on at me like, fucking, you've got fucking all this time to reply everyone. You're obviously bothered. I was like, bro, I'm literally sat here doing fuck all. I'm doing fuck all.
Yeah.
I'm just replying to you. It takes 1 second. It takes 1 second to call you a fucking idiot. It's funny to me. And like, that's the fun I have of it. Cause I'm just like, fuck this guy. I don't give a shit anymore. Like, you know, beforehand where I was like, the way I see it is treat other people how you want to be treated. And I fully would expect to be treated like shit if I was treating someone like shit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I would not expect, if that Tap Bell's ever heard this podcast, this cat chat, I'd never expect her to be nice to me. I'd fully expect to have her go, fuck this guy. Who the fuck does he think he is? I'd be like, well, I have to expect that because that's the vibe, that's the energy I'm putting out. But for the most part, I try and put out positive energy, and then I generally tend to get it back. I generally tend to get that positivity back. I just feel that's like a way, the way of the world. Like if you put, you know, like I don't believe in a God or anything like that, but I do believe in the universe and how it all makes shit work. Like, you know, it's just fucking weird. And, you know, I feel like we're just on a very weird timeline right now, with obviously Corona and Donald Trump being a president and, you know, like all this shit and Boris Johnson being in charge of our place. I'm like, what fucking timeline are we on right now? But like, I feel like it all has that way that will work its way out in the end, whether it's good or bad. We will get to a resolution point. I just want to touch on something else you said a minute ago. You said you got 400 plus DMs in one night.
Oh yeah, best part of 500. Yeah.
How the fuck did you turn your brain off after that? I get 2 DMs.
I did it.
I'm like, fuck, this is too much socializing for me. Like, that is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I spent 3 days replying to DMs because it was like, do you know what? These girls are supporting everything that I'm standing for. I'm not just going to leave them sitting in my DMs when they've taken time to message me. It's like, no, you know what? I'm going to message every single one of them back. So I did. And then obviously they reply again. It was like a massive vicious circle.
Yeah.
I was like, look, girls, I love you, but I'm really not going to reply again. I promise, because I can't. Like, this is enough.
Yeah,
but that's
cool.
where the group chat comes into it.
Yeah,
you know, it was like, look, come into the group chat. You can talk to all of the girls and we'll all get together. And yeah, it's lush. It's lush. It is really nice.
On the subject of that, though, being a girl in the car scene, do you get, I know you do because you've shown me a couple of them, but like some very weird DMs from boys. And I'd just like to touch on this because I know you can talk very well. You're very good with words. And I just want to like get a feeling of how it is to be a 20-year-old. You're obviously an attractive girl, 20-year-old attractive girl into cars. What are some of the weirdest ones you've got? Do you get any sweet ones where you're just like, I really don't want to reply to that because I don't want to start a conversation? Does that make sense? Because I'll be honest, I get DMs from boys where I'm like, it's really like I just don't want to start this conversation. I know it sounds bad to say.
Where do I even start?
Give us a weird one to begin with, a funny one. Just try and think of one off the top of your head that made you like be like, what the fuck? Like, I always like them DMs that make you go, what the fuck? Like, what?
Well, I probably get about 10 of them a day. Oh Christ. Well, I mean, obviously a lot of the assumption is that I've got OnlyFans. I get a lot of that. You know, every day is watch OnlyFans. Probably anywhere between 5 and 15.
Do you mind me asking you a question? Would you ever do one?
No.
You wouldn't, no.
No, it's nothing against it. It just jeopardizes all my other employment.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? I mean, with the fire service and British Airways and whatnot, it's not worth jeopardizing. And my father would probably orphan me just because he's very traditional. Okay. I've got nothing against it. You know, I'm like, girls, if you want to get your tits out, you do you, banging set of tits, fair play. But my dad would be like, you cannot do that. That's not okay. It's this, it's that. He'd label it as something that it's not. Mm-hmm. So
I find that OnlyFans thing absolutely fascinating. Like, I just think it's incredible how they can earn so much money, with all due respect, doing fuck all. Like, you have to make yourself look good, fair enough, but not every girl that makes lots of money on there is in great shape. Like, there's a lot of boys out there that want to look at curvy girls, that want to watch girls eat fucking junk food. Like, it's who is it? Yeah. Who am I to fucking say, oh, that's fucking weird? Like, fuck it. If that's your kink, fucking cool. Like, whatever. Like, if that's what gets your rocks off, cool as fuck. Just fucking don't ask me to eat a burger and you watch me, because that would be weird. But, like, do you know what I mean? Those sort of deals. Like, I just wondered if you'd ever do it, because obviously that money is it's a tempting. The reality of it's tempting. Like, I spoke to Sophie in quite depth about that on here, because obviously she does it and is very successful off of that OnlyFans thing. And, like, I mean, if I could earn that sort of money from fucking, getting naked on the internet, I reckon I'd fucking give it a go for it. The money.
I mean, I get it a lot, and I sit here realistically knowing that I think if I tried, I could make, my same salary and more if I did. But it's just one of the things that's like, I don't need to. It would jeopardize and change so many things in my life if I went into that line of work. And, I just sit here thinking to myself, I look at the girls doing it and they smash it, they're killing it. And I'm like, yeah, girls, fair play, you do you. But I just don't think it's right for me with my life and what I want to go into and the line of work that I'm in. I don't need to. The cars that I've had, the cars that I've got, I think I'd just be greedy if I thought, right, I'm going to change everything 180 degrees on its head so that I can just make a little bit more money.
No, I think it's really cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's respectable. Your answer's great. Can I just ask, though, as a girl, when you get a message like that, do you kind of take it as a compliment when they're like, do you have OnlyFans?
No, it infuriates the fuck out of me.
Or do you more think, like, you just want to give me a $5 to touch yourself over me? Like, is it like one of those sort of, like...
I think it's the sort of thing where I don't like assumptions being made. If I had OnlyFans, it would be on my profile, because obviously it would, I don't, so it's not there. I understand why people ask, but because it's such a predominantly sexual line of work, it almost makes me think in my head, it's like, do I look like somebody that would do that line of work? Like, am I putting the image across of myself that that's what I do for work? It's weird, because as much as I don't look down on any of the girls that do it, it's very much like, well, it's not what I do. That's not how I work. I work hard to be in the fire service and for British Airways, but no one asks me about those jobs. It's all like, well, I only want to know about your job if it's going to involve you getting naked and me being able to pay for it, sort of thing.
Yeah, of course.
But then, as you say, then you get the laughable DMs that assume you've got OnlyFans, and then they'll come into your requests with all sorts of requests. Some of the stuff I have been asked to do with my car, or in my car, or next to my car.
Give us an example. Give us a really grotesque example.
Oh,
because while you think about it, I'll just fill in the audience that even as, like I said, a guy, and I'm not in the best shape. Okay, I tried to run earlier with my dog and I nearly died. So I'm not in fucking tip-top condition. I do not have a six-pack. I got no fucking hair. I do not think I am any form of anything that anyone would want to pay to see without clothes on. Even I get questions like, do you have an OnlyFans? Or I had a gay dude that was, I think his name was, I can't remember what it was. It was like the gay laundrette or the gay something. It was something like that. Like I am not homophobic in the slightest. I fucking think gays are fucking wicked. So like, I think they're cool as fuck. I think they're funny as fuck. I get on so well with them. Like, I've got friends that are gay. That's like friends will hang out with. But this dude constantly fucking asked to pay to suck my dick. And I was fucking like, dude, just stop fucking messaging me. And that was one of the reasons that I stopped replying to people, because he opened up with like, that wasn't his profile when he messaged me. And he asked me a question about car parts. So that's why I accepted the request on my personal account. And I was like, hey, dude, help me out this. And then he changed his fucking username. And then he was like, well, then how much is it to fucking suck you off? I was like, you fucking what? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, my G, I'm not in, like, yo, if that's your thing, sound. But no, like, I'm not, that's not a bit of me. Like, I'm sorry. And like, And I was apologizing to him for not wanting to let him pay. I was like, dude, I don't want this. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want this, man. Like, I'm sorry. You're making me feel super uncomfortable, dude. Like, please stop.
Yeah.
Like, please stop. Like, it almost felt like, it sounds weird, but I almost felt like this is what girls feel like when dudes are like, you send us your tits. So like, I was just like, man, this is so uncomfortable. Like, I can remember just sitting there at home, like, how do I fucking deal with this? Like, in the end, I blocked him. I was like, I find this. It was like every 3 days, every 4 days, he dropped me a message like, yo, have you changed your mind yet? I'm like, bro, no, I have not changed my mind. What are you talking? What the fuck? Dude, I was like, oh my god, and I literally was like, it was like one of those things where I was just like, man, I'm getting this once, and it's making me feel uncomfortable. Like, imagine if I was a fucking girl. Like, I was like, this is so cringe. I was like, I just felt cringe. I think that's why, like, I'd never say I was like over the top in DMs, like, ever, but like, it's definitely made me tone down massively. After experience that side, I was like, yo, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, cool. Like, I mean,
my followers this year have grown quite a bit. I mean, I've averaged, I'm 13.3 at the minute.
Oh fuck! The last time you posted something, you were on 10K. That must have been at the start of lockdown.
Yeah. So I mean, literally, I was on 4.5K in March.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm 13.3. You know, that's when I just sort of decided to really start pushing Instagram and the changes in the amount of messages you get. Because I think for my followers, I get quite a good engagement rate. I mean, I've only got 13,000 followers, but on good pictures of the car, you know, I'll get in excess of 2,500, 3,000 likes. It's pretty good ratio going on.
Yeah, that is good.
But so the DM ratio is also like skyrocketed. And I average, you know, sort of 30 to 40 new messages a day in my requests, and you get some very, very colourful, but a lot of that comes from TikTok, to be fair. TikTok's quite a good stream of getting people through to your Instagram.
Okay.
But you get a fair few colourful ones, you know, as I said, with the OnlyFans ones and stuff. I remember I posted a photo, the first one I posted of the back of my car, so it had a 4-inch exhaust on it, and I must have had people, I don't know why they were on the same trail of thought, but I think there were 3 or 4 people that all said if I could fit it in me, like the exhaust I'm talking about now. So you get the gear stick ones, you know, the gear knob ones are like, okay, so I know people do that.
Why would anyone go something like that? What the fuck goes through? If you're one of these geezers, ask girls if they fuck their gear knob. What do you honestly think the answer's going to be? Fucking hell.
The gear knob ones are standard.
Look at her. Hang on, wait. If you're watching this on YouTube, look at her and you think if she actually needed to get off, she'd have to go sit on a gear knob. Fucking hell, mate. Jesus Christ, dude. Use your fucking head before
weird. I've had people...
Oh, man.
I've had people ask... No, the good ones are where they ask for me to take a part out of my engine bay, but they want to see me take it apart and then use that part instead.
But please please start sending me these. I will react to all these for you in a video. This is disgusting. This is gross.
It's bad.
I'm actually gonna do something with Loz like that. She's gonna send me all of her cringy DMs, and I'm not gonna out the people. I'll block the people's names.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna read them before I record it. I'm just gonna record a video of me openly reacting to her DMs and like just
100%. I'll send you through so many. I know that Lauren gets a fair few as well when I've spoken to her about it. But oh god, yeah, they're pretty bad. Pretty bad. Everything you do with your car, anything you post, you know, like a video of progress or whatever, you'll always get someone sexualizing something about it. It's madness. You can only laugh. I've gotten to the point where I'll just read it and be like, wow, this is where we're at, guys. This is where we're at.
I don't know whether it's like an attention thing, like just to get you to notice them, that be as grotesque as possible, so then they can be like, haha, didn't actually mean it.
Yeah.
How are you? It's like
the roll cage. Yeah, when the roll cage pictures went up, the amount of messages that I had through about bondage, you know, where people want to tie you to bits of the cage, and I'm like, I'm not going to spend that sort of money on a cage so you can tie me to it, doll. That's not how this is going to work. Come on.
Oh, man, honestly, I don't get it. I don't feel like I said earlier about the toffs trying to. I don't feel like we're not all wired the same. And this is one of the things about social media that fucks me off a little bit, because beforehand, before all this social media shit, like, and I hate to sound like such an old fucking man when I say that, like before this, back in my day, like before this, you associated and you spoke with the people you wanted to be around. You would join a car club online that would be majority civics, and all right, you might not all get along, but you're all there for the same reason. And now it's just like, it's like you just have this whole social media network. You got Twitter, you got fucking Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, all of them. And it is like you're putting a YouTube, you're putting yourself out there. And normally way back when, you'd put yourself out there and the only people that would see would be an audience that want to watch, so you'd get like pretty good interaction, have a good laugh. But like I could do like a joke video that all my main audience, people I associate with, know it's a joke, but that video might go to some guy that takes it as like an offense, and he's like, fuck it. You know, like I joked around once about Kanye, because Kanye said something about how slaves didn't exist, or it was something weird he said, and I went, and Morgan was there, my friend Morgan's black, and he mentioned something about slaves, and I was like, all right, Kanye. Do you know what I mean? I just joked around. It was like one of those, like, all right, Kanye, fucking hell, calm down. And he was like, oh yeah, do you think I'm your fucking slave? I was like, all right, Kanye, calm down. Like, we're not in that fucking world anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was like something like that. And then I had this guy who messaged me. He was a black man, and I think he just misunderstood everything. And he was messaging me on YouTube and Facebook saying how he's going to fuck me up and how I need to learn my history. And I was like, dude, it was a joke about Kanye West. It wasn't about anything else. And like, it was mad. But that's where I just feel like all this social media is so bizarre, and how like if you're going to go for it, not you specifically because you've got a fucking strong head on you, but like other girls out there that might want to be a influencer in the car scene have to understand that your audience are not all there to support you. Like they might hit follow,
social
and
it
might be cool, but I have people that are subscribed to my YouTube channel with notifications on just to dislike the video when it goes up. I know that because I can see when I hit refresh after 2 minutes on a 20-minute video, it's got 3 dislikes. And I'm like, you haven't watched it. Like, what the fuck? What are you benefiting out of that? Like, I don't give a fuck. It's all interaction to me. Like, it's happy days. Like, please dislike all you like. But yeah, I think that's what I feel like. Social media has gone from it all being like when I was on forums massively, and like how you would be in your Facebook groups, how you get to select who's in, and you can ban people from being in it, and all that sort of stuff. You're now in this world where you post something to Instagram, and like you said, you've got 13,000 people that click to follow you. But if you're getting 2,500 likes a picture, that means that picture's getting put onto the explore page, which means that's going up to people that don't even follow you. So then you get people that will just click on it and be like, fucking hell, yeah, she's fit, or fucking hell, who the fuck does she think she is? You know what I mean? Oh, that's definitely daddy's car. Do you know what I mean? That's where them comments will come from. Like, and then every people, time. They won't even be doing it to be nasty. They'll just be like an instant thought where they'll just be like, bah, 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 bah. And then they'll fuck off and go and do whatever else. And then you'll realize, and you'll be like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you? Fuck off, you fucking arsehole. And then it brings them back in, and they're like, fucking tell me to fuck off. Do you know what I mean? And that's just how it all, and that's why, like, it's just so different now. And I know we all have to adjust with change, and I know it's only going to change even more. But yeah, that's for me where social media is fucking bizarre. Like how we're not all wired the same, but we all exist in the same world, in the same. And especially with like, I don't know what your stance is on this corona stuff and masks. Like, do you wear one when you go to the shops and stuff like that? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I'm careful with what I do, but I don't wear them now.
Yeah, but are you proactive in telling everyone that you think it's a mind control device and you think the government are trying to control it? Right. So this is what I see the most on Facebook at the minute. And this is where I laugh the most, because they're like, the government are trying to control you. First, it's you have to wear face masks, and next you'll have to get the virus jab. I'm like, my guy, you've literally sold your soul to Facebook. Like, by clicking signing up to Facebook, they get information from every aspect of you. Like everything. They know everything. They're listening to you. They're listening to you right now through your phone without it being on. They're listening. And like, to me, it's just so bizarre, like how they're so anti everything. And they're like, I'm not, but you're on Facebook. You're on Instagram. Will you sign your life away? I always laugh. I'm like, what the fuck does the government want from me? I just fucking watch drift videos and build a drift car. Like, fucking cool. That might, might show them a new sport if they're fucking stalking me. What the fuck are they going to see? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just beyond me, man. Honestly, like, just fucking beyond me. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on the old DM situation. Have you got any more that you can fucking share with us? Like, what is your least favorite kind of message to receive?
Oh my God, there's so many. I mean, I hate the ones that tell me something about myself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. People that tell me that I have done this or that I haven't done this. Definitely about where my cars come from, or things about my car. I don't like people that are too opinionated either. It's something that you get quite a lot with Evo owners, particularly when it comes to tuning companies or parts companies, is that you will get people telling you where to go. As opposed to advice, it is, you have to do this, you must do this, you can't do this. I don't like that at all. All the sexualized ones, they all sort of come into like a bubble of just fucked up. So you're like, I'm just going to push them to the side, they can stay there. And then you get all the ones then that are telling you that what you're doing is wrong because you're a female, you know, because I couldn't possibly know the right way to put a roll cage in, or to change my brakes, or to service an engine, you know, because that's not a thing. So they want to tell me how to do it. Don't appreciate them. There's so many. I could honestly go on. You need to do a day where you just live in my DMs. I'm just going to give you my login and you can do my DMs for a day.
Just Prince. I would 100. Didn't we even talk about that at one point? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. It'll be funny. Like,
I'm pretty sure we did.
I need some target practice for my stand-up comedy. So I think all of these fucking little weird fucking DMs, like, I think these are going to be perfect for me. And like use my wit, because that's what I want to be. If I was being completely honest, I want to be a stand-up comedian. That's what I want to do. So like at the minute, this is actually where I write all my notes. This is my joke book. So like I am obviously I can't do it at the moment because of the corona stuff. Like all comedy clubs are shut. We're getting no funding from the government. But so like for me, this is what I was saying to Loz yesterday, because I saw Loz and her boyfriend yesterday come down and hung out. And I was saying to her, like, if you send me some weird DMs, let me just fucking write off of it, because it's all stuff that this is the world I'm involved in, and it could be fucking great material for me, you know, like just to be like learning and writing. And even if I never use it, just like do a YouTube video. Like I want to have fun with YouTube now. Like I don't take YouTube that serious anymore. I don't see YouTube as a potential career for me anymore. At one point I did. I was like, I could do this full time and enjoy it. But I think now, with where I'm at in my real career, I'm like, nah, fuck this. Like my real career is sick now. I'm very content with where I'm going and how the future looks in the field of work that I am in. And I don't really want to change that now. So it's like YouTube would always just be that fun thing for me. A little bit of pocket money every month. Like, cool, I get a sponsorship here and there. I've had a water bottle company that I'm waiting to send me. I love water bottles. It's the weirdest thing ever. I love water bottles, right? Like especially these ones.
A good water bottle goes a long way.
A good water bottle is just the fucking tits. And this water bottle company got in touch with me, and their water bottles are like this sort of quality stuff, like the ones that you pay bit much. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. They were like, what are your rates? I was like, I don't fucking know. What do you want to pay me? I'm happy. You just pay me something, like, because obviously, you know, it's fucking, why not? I'm getting free money, then why not? But like, I just was like, yeah, I just want the water bottle. Do you want to send me one over? So like, it's just like one of them things. Like, it's cool for me, like the YouTube stuff, but like, it's not a goal to be using it as a career. Do you think that you would turn it in, or because you're like, you have so much going on, you'd like to do it as a career?
Yeah. I'd love to. If I could sort of do something social media orientated, you know, mixed in with Garage Girls, mixed in with events and shows and road trips and holidays, that would be like my dream career, unless I went into something to do with driving. You know, I mean, I've been toying around with the idea of going into sort of stunt driving, but obviously it's a very niche market for very, very talented people. Not quite sure if I'm there yet, but, you know, maybe one day. I wouldn't write it off.
These are stuff I want to learn. I'm just writing notes about what I want to talk to you after this. So after we've done with the podcast. So yeah, cool. Sorry, carry on. Yeah, carry on, please. You're saying stunt driving would be something that you'd want to do? Yeah,
I definitely, like, I've been very, very much track orientated my whole life. You know, it's very much just fastest lap times and sprints and tracks, endurance races, all that sort of stuff. But I've never gone into the cooler looking driving, you know, the drifting and all that sort of cool shit. I'd love to be able to do it.
I saw you leave a little comment on my picture saying that you want me a teacher. I'm well up for that. I'm going to get my car tomorrow out of the garage it's currently at, because I'm relocating who is working on it, because I need it done faster than what this guy can get it done. I'm hoping to have it all done, dusted, mapped and everything by February next year. And then that car, as long as that car does not break, I'm about to put an order in with Driftworks. Fucking, it's going to cost a lot of fucking money again, but this is all not engine parts again. This is all like looks wise and new. I want the Go3 set up for the rear, like everything. I'm just going to fucking say fuck it. Let's just do it, because I want that car to be absolutely sick. And that's going to be like my exhibition car, like my show off car. You know, like we'll take it to the big weekend stuff. But I'm also building an E36 in the background. So if you wanted to learn, I'd happily let you go and crash the E36. Like that is like a general
I
consensus.
don't
Tell
plan to
everybody,
crash it.
oh, but you will, like, and it's fine because it's funny. Like that's the difference. So like the Nissan, if you crash the Nissan, I'd probably be like, okay, we've got beef now. Whereas like if you crash the BMW, I'll high five you and say that was sick. Let's hope someone got that video. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's the difference in like that. The BMW
Well,
owes me
this is where
nothing.
I was talking to him. You know,
Sorry.
when I said earlier about what I'd like to do, like with the track car,
Yep.
and then get a nicer daily.
Yep.
Once I've got the daily under work, I'd love to get, you know, like a more of a banger sort of car that I can try and do all of that sort of shit in and learn to drift and learn some cool driving stuff that I look at the Evo and just think, no, you can't do that. Do you know what I mean? Because I want a nice daily driver, and then I want a piece of shit that I can like swing into a lamppost and laugh about it. That's going to be my next go-to, I reckon.
Yeah, right. I'm instantly going to stop you there, young lady, and I'm not going to let you go out and do Streeto because Streeto is for mugs. We will get you taught properly. We'll get you doing some proper driving, not some shitty roundabouts.
Yes.
Like, I feel, I see so many because obviously I follow all you lot, and I'm quite friendly with everybody. But I see Sarah Meepham as well with the Audi S1.
Yes. Oh,
what a girl she is!
love
She
her.
is absolutely quality. I really like her, but she loves a fucking car meet, doesn't she? Oh my god! Every weekend I see her posting up crashes and like all this sort of stuff in these car meets she goes to, and I never want anyone that I consider a friend or I consider someone that I you know, really proud of their progress. I do not want, especially someone I've had on here going, yeah, I want to get you into drifting. I then don't want to see that end up on a fucking social media thing of you smashing a car up at a car meet or something like does that make sense when I say that? Like, no, like if it's a drift day and like you stick it up the bank or roll it, it'll be like, fuck yeah, that's my girl. She's fucking killing it. But like, if I see you bounce a BMW E36 off a fucking curb, I'd be like, what are you doing? Because I've made that mistake.
Yeah.
And I did a podcast as well, and it didn't get much traction on YouTube for whatever reason, but I did a podcast with pro Monster Energy drift driver Bagsy, and we were both talking about like how we both kind of started out doing Streeto because there was just nowhere to do it. When I started, obviously there was a lot more places to do, but I had that same mentality 4.5, whatever year ago it was. I was like 25, 26 when I started getting into drifting. I had that same mentality of like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be a drift fucking guy, man. I'm gonna go out and do fucking roundabouts and I'm gonna do this and that. And I crashed my car out doing it, and I had to fucking limp it home, and it delayed my drift journey by 6 months because I ended up having to fix that fucking car. And like, if I hadn't have done that stupid fucking drift stuff on the streets where I wasn't even very good. That's the thing. Like, if you're out doing Streeto, I just feel like you must be crap. And I feel like all the guys that are good at Streeto are not going to post it online because they don't want to get in fucking trouble. do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And if they do, it'll be like a video where all the number plates are blurred out and it'll be in a fucking secret location. And that's probably, if I was to ever do it, it'd be like one of those things where it's just like, yeah, we're going to go out drifting because we want to get the practice in, but no one fucking tell anyone where we are. No one post it. We're just going to go out, do our thing, come home, fucking, you know, like all that sort of stuff. So, but it's cool to hear that you'd like to get into that. And you've never had any experience of drifting at all or anything?
Not drifting, never, ever.
Okay. What as someone that's never experienced it, how do you feel like it would be to be in the passenger seat of a drift car? Like, what in your head, if you shut your eyes, how do you think how would you think the experience would be?
You know, like if you could just like explain your happy place in a bubble, that would be like me in the passenger seat of a drift car. And then a happier place would be me in the driver's seat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Do you know what? I am the worst passenger in a car ever. Track days, I can last maybe 2. If you were to be like, hop in my Evo, we're going to go do a couple of laps. I'd get first lap round and be like, all right, cool. And then you'd start fucking growing your fucking confidence. You'd start going harder. And I'd be like, oh my God. Okay, right. Okay, I'm tapping out. Okay, pull in. You'd be like, fucking, I've only had 3 laps. You fucking win.
Well, already, that's already got to happen now. So you said it now.
But that's like it. I'd be like, no. But if you were like in a fucking drift car, you'd be like, look, I'm going to go out and do some skids. I'd be like, oh, I'm coming. I'm not scared of drifting. Drifting's fucking wicked. It's fucking, I don't know what it is about drifting, or it's just, to me, it is my favorite thing I've ever experienced. Like, hands down.
Yeah.
Like, if you said, what are your hobbies? I tell people I drift cars because that is what I want to talk about. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do loads of other stuff, but I don't want to fucking talk about that other shit. Someone goes, oh, so you do YouTube? I'm like, yeah, but I only do YouTube because I'm documenting my drifting. They're like, what? I'm like, I literally am only doing it so I can document my drifting and sit and watch my drift days back and be like, fuck, that was such a cool day. Does that make sense? Like, I can talk to you for hours about drifting because it is like my absolute favorite thing ever. And I'd love to take you out. Once I get the car, we'll fucking sort something out, because you've got Anglesey near you, and they do. I say near you.
Yeah.
I know it's in your country. I know it's maybe not up the road, but like it's in where you live. And that I want to get over to one of the Drift Matsuris up there, because I've never done it before. I've never been there for a Drift Matsuri, and like every time I've meant to go, my car's been broke. So
Yeah.
get my Nissan to a standard of where it is competitive. Yeah, awesome. Like just fun. And then get down there. So I'll take you out some passenger rides around Anglesey and see how you like it. And then we'll sort out another smaller drift day where I can let you loose in a car.
100%. That sounds amazing.
Wicked. We'll sort that out for sure, because I think it'd be a good crack for sure. So you did say though that you'd be up for socials being what you do for a living. Do you think you'd ever solely do it? Like make it your only job?
If I could. If it was bringing in enough money, I'd do it tomorrow, 100%. But it's just finding the revenue streams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely think you're going the right way with having a merch line as well, because I just feel like if you rely solely on like YouTube, for instance, like out of nowhere, they can just take all your money. They can just be like, oh, someone's copyright claimed this video, so you're not getting any money for that now. What the fuck? Who the fuck's this guy copyright claiming my video? Do you know what I mean? Like, and then you're in this constant battle. Like, no, it's me in the video. What are you talking about? It's this guy. You know what I mean? It's like, it's fucking me. Like, it's like back and forth. So you're like, fucking hell. Like, whereas I think if you've got your merch constantly and you just see like whatever you're earning on the socials, like sponsorships and all that as like benefit money, like, yeah, cool, extra money, like sweet. Like, I think you're going the right way though with your Garage Girls stuff. I do think it's cool. Give me your 5-car dream garage, please. I'm very interested to know.
Oh, so absolute like ultimate dream car at the minute would be an Aventador SVJ.
Oh, okay.
That would be like my top. Obviously, my Evo's going to be in there. Dream daily, I'd probably be talking M4 competition back for the time being.
Yep.
I'd like one of those. Then I'd have. Oh God, there's so many.
You got 2 spaces.
I couldn't
left.
do an electric car. I couldn't do an electric car.
Have you been in one yet?
Yes.
A fast one?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, and you
I
didn't
have.
like
They're insane. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if you know Moonlight on Instagram. Moonlight Donkey's got a Ferrari, a couple of Porsches, and a Tesla. He took me out in his Tesla a while ago, and it is rapid, stupid. I think it's called a PD 180.
100 P100D.
Yeah, one of them. The ludicrous launch mode.
Yeah, I got
things.
One of my friends called Alex Carmichael, who's a photographer in London, got given one for a little while, and his girlfriend's parents live up the road from me. So like he come down at the area and he texted me and he was like, "Ads, I've got to take you out in this car." And I was like, "What is it?" And he was like, "It's one of these Tesla P100Ds. You'll never experience anything like it." And I was like,
"Yeah,
I'm not into this fucking. I'm not into these electric fucking cars. Who gives a fuck about these things?" He picked me up and he put it in that fucking ludicrous mode. And
ludicrous mode. Yeah.
Like, he was just like, "Pew!" And I was just like, "Oh my God." I was like, "This is the fastest fucking thing I've ever been in my life." I was like, "All right, my head's turned. I'm in. I'm in. If I can have a car, this
power delivery was like bang, and you're like, shit.
Yeah. I was like, this is
back in your seat.
This is a 4-door fucking saloon car. What the fuck's going on? And I was like, yeah, I'm in. I tell you what, I'm surprised at myself for being so in on the electric car thing, because I thought it wasn't going to be a bit of me. I thought, fucking ain't got an engine or this sort of shit. But then I was like, well, no one's coming and taking my M3 off me. It's not like they're like putting us all in prison with our cars going, you have to drive electric car. I've still got my M3. So if I want to go and make a shit ton of noise, I'll go let that V8 scream. But if I could get one of those, what is the 4x4 Tesla looking thing? Like the people mover looking weird thing. Is it Tesla X model or some shit?
God, I've got no idea.
If I could afford, because I looked at one before I bought my new daily, but they're like quadruple what I could afford for the P100D. And if I was to get one, it'd have to be the silly fast thing. Like I was like, well, I can't afford one of those. But I was like, that is a bit of me. Like them really insanely. It's just insanely fast. Why do you need to go 0. Like, is it 2.9 seconds to 60? Them 4x4 things. In fact, while we talk, I'm going to Google that because Tesla. I don't have someone else to do my Googling yet. So on the other podcast, so Tesla, what are they? Model X P100D.
Pass. I don't know enough about them.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's what it is. It's definitely come up with the right.
P100Ds are like 1.9 seconds or something.
To 0 to 60 in a fucking 4-wheel drive, that 4x4 looking thing. That's got gull wings, by the way. It's got fucking gull wings on this 4x4. 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. That's insane. It's just insane. And like, if anybody wants to tell me they don't want that shit, I would love to be rolling along next to a Bugatti Veyron in my 4x4 with my dog in my boot, like just rolling along. And then a guy in a Veyron wants to race and I keep up with him. I'd be like, that fucking
you could be like, yeah, fine.
I'm like, you fucking electric motherfucker. Like, I think it'd be cool as shit. I don't know what it is about it. I feel like I'm one of these people though that doesn't get blindsided. I haven't got the goggles on, you know, like I only like old stuff. Like, I like all cars.
Yeah.
If I find a car a bit soulless, I'll say it doesn't really do anything for me. Like, but then I see these electric things and I'm like, I'm in on this.
They're just not loud enough. I love the noise. Do you know, they feel insane, but it just doesn't feel like a grunty car. Do you know what I mean?
I think as time goes on, I feel like they're going to make these electric motors make their own unique noises, and I think that's when it's all going to start becoming a thing. Because imagine if you got to hear them spooling, and it was like as you're about to go, it's like this weird like the sound of that. It'd be like, what the fuck? It's like a rocket ship. Yeah. That's what I'm into. That sort of weird. Like, I'm into it. Like, I'd have one, like 100%. If I could afford a Tesla P100D of any form, I would have one, because I just think they're fucking dope. Yeah. But like, I know we're all different, and but yeah, you've got 2 more spaces to fill on this garage, so you don't want an electric car. So what's in the last 2 spaces?
No, I definitely go a Veneno if I could.
A what?
A Lamborghini Veneno.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. I'm big on Lambos. I'm more Lambo than Ferrari. I don't think I'd do a Ferrari. And then I'd probably have to go responsible, like, and I'd go a Urus as well, just for a family car.
Oh, there you go. You got your 5. That's not a bad looking garage.
And if I had to swap one, then my Evo's in there, isn't it? And then if I had to swap one, maybe I'd swap the M4 for a GTR, maybe. But
I'd have an M4 over a GTR. Would I? No, I'd probably have a GTR over an M4.
They're
very similar. If I'm being honest, I'd have an E92 M3 over both of them, but I do. So that's the that's the crux of it. But like, that's just me. So yeah, what is the car scene like over in the old Wales? Because you're from, are you South?
Right. South Wales, yeah.
So is it shit?
It's not the best. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the good meets we go to are Bristol. There's been a few in Cardiff, actually, in the last couple of weeks, which has been a bit mad, obviously, when the Evo's off the road. So I'm like, great, thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's been a few in Cardiff, but on the whole, it's very non-existent. It's just sort of, you'll see like a couple of Fiestas and a few Clios sort of going around together, and that's it. That's as far as it goes. I've seen a fair few Evos around, but they're not anyone that you know. Do you know what I mean? There's like no Instagram tags. They're just like sort of older blokes that have got their dream cars, and you're like, please, can I know you? But then they just disappear and you never see them again. So you're like, fine.
I feel like with like how strict police are now and councils are with cars meeting, it's changed everything massively for local car scenes, because you have to, like, Jordan from Slam GK had his meet as we're filming this yesterday. And in a park and ride, but then he had to charge, because I assume they were getting charged for the use of the park and ride. And so it's like to have a meet that we would have had for free 10 years ago, you now have to have an organizer organizing it properly, you know, and it's like, that's long and it's a lot of effort to do. Like, I'm lucky at my place that I get to host car meets because we own the building. So we actually own the bit of building, and like not the full land, but we kind of get used to it because we just say like the shop's open and like, they're just my customers all turning up. You know, it's like one of those sort of things. But like, we're very lucky in that. But I can't have them a lot because the police will shut them down. Otherwise, the police are like, look, we like what you do. You keep everyone out of town. It's wicked, but please just be aware of the surrounding areas and the effect you're having on everybody. So it's like, yeah, it's fair enough. Do you have a favorite show on the show calendar? Like, because you're still young. So like, have you been to many like of the big shows themselves and, you know, experience?
Japfest is Japfest, I think, is one of my favourites.
Castle Combe, right?
It's like,
that's where that is.
Castle Combe and Donington.
Okay.
No, Silverstone. Sorry,
Silverstone
and Donington. Yes, yeah. And then Tracks as well. Tracks is going to be a good one. That's why they've cancelled it now, haven't they?
I'll be honest, I'm so out of the loop of car shows. I've been so self-indulged with getting my cars built. I've just fucked all that sort of shit off. The only one I've made points of going to is Gravity, because I really like Jordan and he does put on a good show. So it's like one of those things where I'm
Gravity, I'm really excited to go.
They're really, really good. Like that, like they are a lot of
Yeah.
fun, a lot of stuff going on, huge variety of cars. That's what I like. It is a variety of everything. So it exposes you to stuff that you would not be exposed to normally. In my case, anyway, because like for me,
Yeah.
I like a lot of different styles, but there's stuff I'll just ignore because it doesn't affect what I'm doing, you know. So it's nice to be able to like
Yeah.
go in and with a couple of the boys and just kind of, because the guys I go with are like my mates from around here and a couple of the drifters. So we'll all kind of just like I'll just hang out with a couple of them and I'll be like, so I might be talking to my mate Lewis. I'll be like, oh Lou, look at that, like that's fucking cool. And he'll be like, yeah, that is fucking cool. Like, and it'll be like a Volkswagen Passat on air ride with nice wheels, and we'll be like, yo,
Yeah.
fuck, we never even thought of like looking at something like. Do you know what I mean? And it's like that's what I really like, getting to look around all that sort of stuff. So it's a really fun show. Other ones I quite enjoy are players. Have you ever been to a players event?
No, I haven't.
So
No.
I think I'd go out of my way to say they're probably the only show that is better than Jordan's. Like the Players Classic down
Okay.
at Goodwood is
Yeah. Yeah.
the best. It's the best. It's the fucking best. Like, you want to talk about size of a show for one. They use Goodwood, where Festival of Speed is, and it's rammed.
Yeah.
And then not just that, they kind of imagine what Jordan's got now, but in 10 years, what it probably will be. That's what they have now because they've been doing it for so long. And like the variety of cars is the best. They have a track there, so you get to see, because they're hooked up with like Monster and stuff. So you get all the Monster drifters going down and doing their thing, and then you have everyone. You can buy track time. So I was meant to be on track at this one with my Red EG6. That was going to be like the premiere for my car coming back. I was like, right, I'll do the Goodwood one, and then it gets cancelled because of COVID. And it's like, God fucking damn it, dude. You know, it's like. But if you haven't ever been, make sure you put that one in your calendar, because that is, in my opinion, the best car show we have in the UK. It's fucking the best. I even rep their merch, and I normally just wear my own brand on my friends' companies, but even me, I pay. But I'm like, we need these guys to be as successful as fucking possible, so they can keep putting on these events, because they are that good. Like, genuinely, like. And it does help their Essex boys, so I will always have a little place in my heart for them. You know, like they're local guys. Like, yeah, no. So it's, I like to see them be successful. So yeah, I give yourself a big shout out. Where can everybody find you? Because I think we're coming to the end.
Yeah, so it's Instagram, and it'll just be under Miss CPY. It's the same on all socials, Miss_CPY. Hopefully, fingers crossed, a lot of the Ivell build is going to be going up on the socials soon. Lots of big things happening, so I'm really excited. But YouTube as well. I'm not quite sure what the username is yet because I haven't set it up, but it'll be going on my Instagram in the next week or so, fingers crossed.
Okay, well, if you can get this done before I post this live, I can then link your YouTube down below. Bear that in mind.
Yes, okay,
So
I'll
at least
try and
people know
get
where
it
to go.
sorted.
So I want to say a big thank you to you, Charlotte, for giving me your time this evening. It's been great to have a chat and to go through some of the stuff. Hopefully we can do more stuff together in the future, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. And yeah, I want to thank everybody who has hopefully tuned in, listened to the podcast, watched the podcast or the YouTube channel. Please make sure you subscribe and follow on all the accounts. And yeah, check out my Instagram if you've not done before, at Adam Ivell. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon. Peace. All right, cool. We are done. Let me just stop.